It's the IDP show, now you know.
Welcome back. We got week 2 football action. We got one game in the books. Hopefully your team is 2-0. Oh wait, only one team is 2-0. But hopefully we get your teams to 2-0 this week. Bobby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Jeff. I'm ready for week 2. Made a couple of offensive mistakes also in week 1. Some bad start sits on the offensive side, but IDP wise, I'm ready for week 2. Let's get it.
That's perfect. We're locked in. We got a lot of questions ahead of us, so let's dive right into our first question. Fantasy Breakout's got one. We got a lot of linebackers here to choose from. We've got Dan Henley. I'm assuming Ernest Jones. So if I say Dennis, both of the Bengals linebackers, and then Sherwood. The format is 1 point for a tackle, 2 for a sack, fumble recovery, and 4 for an interception. So a lot to sort through here. Bobby, who's your top 2 on this one?
I mean, it's going to be hard to get me off of Deion Henley and Ernest Jones from the jump. Servassier is great as well. I'm not really deviating away from that yet. Logan Wilson is going to have another good week. Jamie and Sherwood. I mean, so the toss-up to me would probably be Servassier or Jamie and Sherwood potentially. I want Henley, Jones, and Logan Wilson on my squad starting in week 2. What do you think about that, Jeff? You going Servassier or Sherwood potentially?
I'm probably leaning Sherwood because I think he gets a bounce back week after a kind of a disappointing week 1.
I like that.
Henley for sure, Jones for sure. Servassier is not playing 100% of snaps quite yet, so
Yeah.
We don't have that much data to go on with it only being week 2. So
good call. Let's go Henley, Jones. Let's go Logan Wilson, and let's go Sherwood.
Yeah. And even Knight isn't getting 100% of snaps. So right now, the only thing we can really bank on is volume, and I want my 100% guys out there. So
it's still early on. I mean, week 1, you kind of want to know what you kind of know off the off season hype and everything. So let's just start who we know is going to get 100% of snaps.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that on the show this week with Kyle. We were talking about how, a lot of these teams aren't together during training camp, really. They don't play together as a full unit until, so it takes 2-3 weeks for them in the regular season to get, that gel together. So
for sure.
We're seeing that. Another question here for Fantasy Breakout, looking at some defensive backs. Winfield played a lot of deep safety last week. Rank him amongst Merrick, Derwin James, Alontae Taylor, Fitzpatrick, and probably the
Shamari
big pickup
Connor.
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah, I would say, man, that's tough. That's a really, really good lineup there. Shamari Connor is probably going to be lower for me. Minka is also going to be lower for me. So it's pretty much between Merrick, Derwin James, Alontae Taylor. I don't expect Alontae Taylor to have a good week in and week out. I still wouldn't go away from Winfield this early on in the season. I think that exactly like you're talking about, Jeff, that y'all talked about on the after show, the narrative is not quite yet set. People are still being moved around. There's a ton of defensive backs that are talented there with Tampa Bay. Tyke Smith, they also have a really good rookie that has been getting a lot of early usage. So I would say Winfield and Derwin to lead that group right there. With Moehrig, let's just see it for a couple more weeks before we start it. And just more than anything, if it ends up being a bad start for the first week or two, at least you've got a little bit of data to kind of go forward and say, okay, I've got 2 weeks to look back on points wise to make a decision in week 3. But I'm not skewing away from Winfield. That dude is talented, regardless of where he lines up.
Yep, and like you said, it's week 1. Let's not overreact to anything quite yet. So thanks for the questions, Fantasy Breakout. Carter's got a couple here. He's got Kyler Gordon out this week, so he needs one defensive back between Drew Phillips, Tyreek Stevenson, Stingley versus Tampa Bay, or Kool-Aid versus San Francisco. For me, Kool-Aid's for sure out. San Francisco's offense is going to be brutal this week with Mac Jones under center. I love the matchup for Drew Phillips. Dallas is going to be throwing the ball around the yard a lot. They're the number 1 matchup last week for cornerback, so he's my guy, I think.
I couldn't agree more, Jeff. That's a fantastic call.
Carter's second question here. He needs two of these safeties. We're looking at Jordan Battle versus Jacksonville, Kevin Byard versus Detroit, Bynum versus Denver, Lake versus Tennessee, and Taki Smith versus Houston. So that's a loaded room as well.
Yeah, you're not going away from Jordan Battle. Jordan Battle is too good to put on the bench. Byard is interesting, as is Bynum. Lake really didn't have the ideal usage in week 1. Really, it was Cam Curl that you wanted out of that defensive back situation. And I don't expect Tennessee to throw the ball a ton. They might have to if they get down in that game, but I'm still not banking yet on Quentin Lake, even though I love him. I'm going to go Taki Smith there. So Taki Smith at Houston on Monday night, and then I'm going to go Jordan Battle. Byard, Bynum, also awesome, but no way I'm sitting Battle or Smith.
100%. And then you had a question with some linebackers there. Trevin Wallace, Sanborn, or Devin Bush?
Wow. Would you start a third guy from this list over Trevin Wallace, Sanborn? So I guess he's saying there, would you start one of those third defensive backs, or would you start one of the other guys? Probably not Sanborn yet. We want to see it first. Devin Bush, probably not either. I would maybe go Bynum versus Denver, because I expect Bynum to have some decent playing time again in week 2. So I'm probably not yet rolling out Trevin Wallace. He's not getting 100% of snaps. Sanborn, I want to see it first. And then Devin Bush is just too skeptical to really, throw into your lineup over one of these defensive backs that we know is going to get close to 100% of the snaps in either Bynum or or Byard, really. But I'm going either probably Bynum, Byard, then maybe one of the other guys.
Yeah, I'm going to go Byard here just because I'm expecting Detroit's offense to be able to sustain some drives, be on the field.
Yeah.
So I just like that him as a 100% guy versus 80% or less linebacker. So
yeah, agreed.
Perfect. Good luck to you, Carter, this week. Sebastian's got a question for some linebackers: Jack Campbell or Spillane this week?
Jack Campbell.
Yep.
I like Spillane.
Spillane was used. Yeah.
100% of the snaps last week, 3 tackles. Just kind of boring.
They had him blitzing a lot too. He had 4 QB hurries, so I don't know if he's playing a different role than he did in Vegas. I know that the zone scheme is very different, where he thrived last year in Las Vegas, but just a very different scheme for him this year in New England.
I will say it is interesting with Spillane playing Miami this week. Can you get to Tua? With that pass rush upside, potentially Spillane is going to have a little splash week. So I still think the safer play is Campbell. If you need to shoot for the stars, maybe go Spillane, because he might have that sack upside this week.
Especially with two offensive linemen down for Miami this week. That whole blind side for Tua is going to be even blinder. So, all right. Good luck to you, Sebastian. We got one more follow-up question for Sebastian here, 2 coming up. Fantasy Sports wants to know, he's got 3 linebackers. Pick 3 here: Devin White, Nate Landman, Terrell Bernard, Jack Campbell, Savorsy Dennis. Do you think Chicago is a bad matchup for linebackers?
Yeah. What do you think, Jeff? I've been talking too much. You have any 3 that are popping off here?
Yeah. I don't know if Chicago is necessarily a bad matchup. I just think they got their cornerbacks were dinged up last week, so they ended up having to throw a lot because the game kind of got out of hand. It kind of got away from them there. All of a sudden, J.J. McCarthy turned into the GOAT. So you guys were watching that game live too, weren't you? When you were doing the Monday night show? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to go Campbell, Bernard for sure. As gross it is, I'm trusting White until I can't this season.
Okay.
100% of snaps. He had 10 tackles last week, 8 of them solo. So Dennis isn't playing 100% of snaps quite yet. I'm just trusting White right now just because, the dinged elbow to Landon Roberts. I just think that he's going to give me the volume.
Yeah, I like that. I'm probably going to go White as well. It's gross, but week 2, week 1 was really impressive. So let's just stay in the nasty with White. I'm going to go Landman as well. I think that Tennessee offense is going to be abysmal, and I think Landman has the opportunity to mop up some tackles and potentially even maybe have a sack this week against Cam Cam Ward. Gosh, I'm looking over here at Campbell's name. Probably going Campbell next. Bernard is still. He got a lot of usage last week, but with Milano back and presumably kind of healthy, it's going to be a strange matchup this week against the Jets. So I'm going to go White, Landman, and Campbell, but it's close for me with Bernard. And I agree with you on Servassier. Not 100% yet. The 70, 80% Servassier is pretty awesome, but we need to get 100% of snaps before we can really roll him out confidently.
And I'm wondering last week if the usage with bringing Dorian Williams in, like 25% of snaps for Buffalo, was just a try to spy on Lamar, keep him, because they're going to lean on Lamar. They're going to lean on Derrick Henry a lot in the run game. So maybe that was just a scheme day. Maybe they get back to their normal 2 linebacker looks there in Buffalo.
That's a good call, Jeff.
Sebastian's got a follow-up question here with some defensive linemen. He's got a plethora of good talent here. Jonathan Cooper, Travion Walker, Christian Ellis, Yaya Diaby, DeForest Buckner, Zach Allen, and Kobe Turner. Whew. I don't know how many we're looking to start here, but let's just go. Who you got for the top 3 here for you, bud?
So top 3, Jonathan Cooper is really talented. I would start Jonathan Cooper. Trayvon Walker, I like this week to maybe have a little bounce back. Sack, maybe either potentially him or Josh Hines-Allen. I know they didn't do anything in week 1, but don't panic yet. Both of those guys are still very talented. Diaby is kind of interesting. Buckner as well. Sometimes it's strange to start your defensive tackles instead of a defensive end, but I would probably skew Cooper, Trayvon Walker, and then maybe Zach Allen this week. Jeff, am I crazy right now, or are you in step with me?
Not at all. I'm just using the cheat code there with Christian Ellis, though, because he's he was the linebacker to roster last week in New England. If he's defensive line eligible, but basically taking linebacker snaps, I think that's kind of a recipe for
a floor.
Success
nice
there.
floor.
Yeah. And he had a great week 1. I think he had like 6 or 7 tackles in week 1. So if I can get that kind of production, that really high floor, then I can play the upside. Cooper. I'm going to go Cooper, Trevon Walker, and then Ellis is my top 3 there. But really good room right there.
Yeah.
All right. Best of luck to you. Harry Brooks has a safety question. Taki Smith, Winfield, or Newman. So he's got teammates and then kind of a disappointing week 1 from Newman. But like we said, let's not overreact too much.
So he said, which 3 should he start? And he's given us 3. Maybe if he's wanting them in order, I'm still Winfield. I'm still team Winfield. I'm going to go Winfield, Tyke, then Newman if you need some type of order.
And I'm gonna go Taki as my 1. I've just seen enough from him to play. Okay. Winfield, outside of his 2022 season, that was the only season he's had over 100 tackles. He's played 5-6 years in the league. He's had only 100 tackle season. Other than that, he's been like an 80, 85 tackle guy. He's been kind of dinged up multiple seasons. I mean, we've seen enough defensive backs in our time to know that they come and go from season to season. So maybe this is Smith's season. So I'm going to go Smith, Winfield, Newman for me.
I like it.
Best of luck to Harry. Skywalker lost Kittle like many teams did. Should he pick up Jermaine Johnson or Juwan Johnson, Hunter Henry, Brendan Strange, or Fannin Jr.? It's got to be Fannin and Johnson for me in that order.
Okay, that's interesting. I love Fannin. I also love Brenton Strange. Hunter Henry, I'm not really interested in. Juwan Johnson, potentially. I'm going to probably go Fannin, then Brenton Strange. I think Brenton Strange with Liam Cohen there in Jacksonville is going to be fun to kind of watch over the next couple weeks. I know Fannin, Njoku's going to be a little bit of a thorn in the side of Fannin. There's going to be a couple weeks where he, I think he's always going to be comfortable for 3-4 catches, and he might pop off for 5 or 6 one week. But I think there's going to be some 2-3 catch weeks with not a lot of yardage, no touchdown. You're going to be a little bit upset. But Brenton Strange to me, maybe it's Strange for me first. You need to plug into an offensive pod a little bit more than me and Jeff. But I like Strange.
Yeah, I think Johnson is a really high safe floor. He's going to get a lot of volume. Fannin's probably not going to do his 8-catch, 9-target game every week like he did last week. But I love the call with Njoku there. Just I think he might be a sweet buy low too, because people are going to be like, oh, he's out
for sure.
We'll see what happens with him. So good luck to you, Skywalker. Another QB or offensive question here. Must be playing in like a 2-team league here with all of these quarterback options. With Purdy out, Fields, May, Nix, Rodgers, Murray, or Prescott.
I'm gonna go Dak. I think this is
Same.
another good Dak week.
Yep, every week is a good Dak week.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to run the ball as much as they did in week 1? That was kind of maddening to see them get close to the goal line and not throwing up to CD. It was just kind of hand off to.
I think so.
Okay, all right, you heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy sports. Should I hold or drop DeForest Buckner for Josh Hines Allen? 5 points for tackles, 3 for an assist, 10 for a sack.
Wow.
Forced fumbles and recoveries are 7 points each. Pass defenses are 5. That's a jacked up scoring, which we love to see.
It's also really interesting in terms of that question because Buckner is presumably going to have more tackles than Josh Hines Allen. That's just not something that Hines Allen really does. But 10 points for a sack, I'm going to go, yes, drop Buckner for Josh Hines Allen for sure.
Yeah, and this is the week that he's going to kind of pop. I think he's going to after a slow start.
Yeah.
CPH has some defensive backs here. Cam Curl, Craig Woodson, Xavier Watts. Need to pick 2.
Oh, wow. So definitely Cam Curl for me. I'm not going away from that usage in week 1. And then week 2 at Miami, let's go Woodson over Watts. You know, Watts, the rookie, still kind of shaking out what that usage is going to look like. But as is Craig Woodson. But, I mean, week 1, 100% of snaps, 8 tackles. And that Miami offense is nothing to write home about. So I'm gonna double down on week 1 with Woodson.
Do you worry about bad offenses, Bobby, being able to sustain drives and things like that, or is that create opportunity?
No, absolutely. I just still think it's too raw with Xavier Watts right now. And Watts in college was a little bit of a big play guy. He kind of wanted that INT in order to get him points. So while we do like the usage and we do like the production and the points from week 1, I just don't know that it's going to be a rinse and repeat every single week for him.
Yeah, and I like that call too, just because like Woodson, I know that his teammate, he was a really high waiver wire guy this week too.
Yeah,
forgot his name, but Woodson, I think his stats are more repeatable because he didn't have the big splash plays like his teammate did. I wish I could think of his name.
I'll find it for you.
Jalen Hawkins.
There you go, Hawkins, and it was a Hawkins guy.
Yeah. So Hawkins again, like was in the league for a long time, and I think he only has had like 5 or 6 double-digit games in his entire career. So that was kind of an anomaly. And he had a sack and an interception in one game. I don't know how many times a player plays that deep at safety and can record both of those stats in a game, but he did. Yeah. But I think Woodson's just so much more likely to return, like playing in those box snaps and things like that. So Curl and Woodson for me as well.
Yeah.
So appreciate those thumbs up. Yes. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep bringing this kind of stuff to you each and every week. All the great content with the whole host of pods and articles. Good morning, Summer. To you, had a tough decision between Hufanga, Morrig, Chin, or Taki Smith. He's a popular name at defensive back. Also between Sherwood, Schlesinger, and Ernest Jones. So let's take the defensive back question first.
Yeah. I'll go Taki Smith still. Taki Smith's the best of that bunch. And then probably Morrig for me, then Chin and Hufanga. And then between the linebackers, I'm going Ernest Jones, Sherwood, then Schlesinger this week. I'm not putting Ernest Jones on the bench.
No, can't. Are you at all, Bobby? I know we had a couple questions already about the Rams secondary. We got Cam Curl's name coming up a lot, Lake's name coming up a lot. Are you worried about like last year's waiver wire darling Quentin Lake kind of fading back to?
Not really. I think that they're shaking out the usage there. I think there's a lot of weirdness too with, everybody expected Dolac to run out with the ones and he didn't, and it was Omar Spates. So I think there's going to be games where it's just heavy LB2 play when they're expecting more run. And then I think there's going to be some weeks that Quentin Lake and Cam Curl just rack up a bunch of tackles because they're playing a team that throws the ball a lot. So I'm not writing Quentin Lake off just yet, just because of week 1.
I like it. Good luck to you, Summer. All right. Bryson has a question. Is he going to be sitting Buckner this week for Isaiah McGuire? McGuire had a great game last week. Didn't play a ton of snaps, right around 60% of snaps. So,
yeah. No, I'm not. I'm going to roll Buckner out for week 2.
Just chasing the volume?
Yeah, just chasing the volume and expecting that, McGuire is going to have a rough go of it here in week 2. And that it's going to be a good bounce back game for Buckner against the Broncos this week.
Yep. Good luck to you. Puck the Truck. Good morning, guys. Got play 3 of these. Jack Campbell, Devin White, TJ Edwards, Levante David. Which 3 would you start? I'm probably sitting White.
Yep, agree with you. I'll put White on the bench. I don't know. I'm going to put Campbell on the bench. I'm going to go White, Edwards, Levante David. Jack Campbell. I'm with Addy on the Jack Campbell experience. Even 100% of snaps is just not super fun.
One of your boys, Tuli T with the Chargers, or Yaya Diaby this week. So
Tuli. Let's go Tuli again week 2.
Okay. Any peel back the onion a little bit? Why?
I just want to see it first with Yaya. We like the upside. We think he's great in Dynasty, but if you're playing him in week 2 off of week 1 where he didn't do a whole lot, that's a recipe for a single point game, maybe even a 0. A lot of zeros out there in IDP and everything last year. So last week, I mean. So I'm going to go Tuli. Had a little bit of a down week. I think he only put up about 5 points or so in Big 3 scoring. So, but I do like him to have a bounce back. He got a lot of snaps last week.
All right. We got a couple super chats here, Bobby. So they get bumped to the front here.
Okay.
Our first one from Ricardo. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We got need 4 of these. I'm assuming Savoy Dennis, Ernest Jones, Nate Landman, Jermaine Pratt, Wallace,
Trevin.
Warner, and Winters. Trevin Wallace, Fred Warner, and Winters need 4 of these. So Warner and Jones for sure.
Yep, there's 2. Let's
Jermaine
go
Pratt's
Landman.
out for me.
Yeah, Landman is going to be a 3 just because of the snaps. He's getting the usage. D. Winters is interesting, but again, not 100. I'm not rolling out D. Winters and Warner. It doesn't make sense to play both of them. So I'm going to go Servatier. Of the other people who has the other person that has the highest upside there to actually do something on 70% of snaps is going to be Servatier. So let's go.
Yeah, we're in 100% agreement there. Agree with starting 2 guys from the same team. Just caps your upside from week to week. So Ernest Jones, Landman, Warner, and Dennis therefore. So appreciate the super chat. Good luck to you this week, Ricardo. Got another super chat here from Corey. He's an IDP newbie. Welcome to the greatest game on earth.
Mm-hmm.
We got Jalen Walker or Leonard Williams in the defensive line spot. Walker is plus 12 projected on Sleeper. Is that fool's gold? Yeah. So any website, the projections are always kind of bunk. So you're better off using any kind of education or any kind of
Go to the IDPshow.com, and we have a pretty awesome start-sit tool on there. And, me and Jeff aren't going to be here forever. We have a website that's way better than we are. So jump in there, throw these guys on the start-sit tool, which is run off of Mike Wollert's projections, a guy who's way better at IDP than we are. And it'll give you a little bit of advice if you don't trust Sleeper, MFL, RSO, Yahoo, whatever. Because, yes, Sleeper is wonky sometimes it'll have 0 points for some guys. It'll have 15 points for others. But to answer this question, Leonard Williams, 78% of snaps in week 1. He had 7 tackles, and they're going to play at Pittsburgh this week, who I expect to run the ball quite a bit. I'm in the trenches with Leonard Williams again. Double down on that one.
I am too. And yeah, Jalen Walker only playing less than 50% of snaps last week. Banking on getting a sack, especially if he's going to have to get to 12 points. So
for sure,
yeah, we're chasing volume once again. So appreciate the super chat, Corey. Good luck to you and welcome to IDP.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you enjoy it.
Let me. I'm gonna give you a break for a minute, Jeff. You've been talking and running through these. I'll jump in here and ask you a few of these. So let's do a little quick one to get caught up. Hey guys, benching Cam Bynum for Shamari Connor and Malachi Starks. What do you think? Tackle heavy, big play. So what do you think on those?
I'm probably not going to bench Bynum. I'm going to go Connor and Bynum there. Starks played a lot of snaps, but a lot of them were deep. Hamilton's probably the cannibalizing all those line snaps in Baltimore.
I think that's an awesome setup for the season. With those three guys, you're going to do just fine. But Bynum, Connor, Starks for me is how I have that one, Jason. So a good little setup. All right, CHB, which DL should I start? I don't know. I don't know what that question means. Jeff, can you help me out a little bit?
Yep. A little further down.
Oh,
he's
okay,
got
perfect.
Marshawn Nealon. Yep, Marshawn Nealon, Jermaine Johnson, or Karlaftis.
Okay.
I'm probably going to lean Jermaine Johnson this week over Curious George. Scott Solstice writes a defensive line streaming article, and he was all in on Jermaine Johnson this week, so we don't want to go against the IDP professor. So we're there with him.
Let's go Jermaine, Karlaftis, and then Nealon, because Nealon isn't getting a ton of snaps quite yet, but I do think I like him for the 2025 season. And then for DB, should I start Kirby Joseph, Adebo, or Byard? I'm gonna go with Kirby Joseph this week. I do like Byard. I do like Paulson Adebo, but Kirby Joseph in a matchup this week is going to be a pretty hard guy to set with the Bears. I think that's at the Lions as well, so that's going to be in a dome. I like Kirby to have a good week this week.
And I'm gonna go Adebo on this one just because they're playing up against Dallas. I just think that's a great matchup. He had a great week one, so yeah, I'm gonna roll with that one.
Perfect. All right, Michael. Lost Cashman to injury. I'm sorry about that. Who should I start between Demario Davis and Nate Landman? I'm going Landman. What do you think, Jeff?
I'm actually going to go Davis here just because of the snaps, and he's just a proven gritty vet. He's going to get it done.
Perfect. All right, SRM, please choose two. Cooper, Granderson, Key, McGuire, or Osai. Also, if time permitted, he's got 4 LBs. So choose two. I'm going Jonathan Cooper, and I am going to go with Carl Granderson. I'm going to go with those top two.
Yep, I am as well. Just he had 2 sacks last week.
Yeah.
No Young this week for New Orleans, so I think he's going to have to play a lot. So going there.
Yep. Also, choose 4 linebackers there: Bond, Brooks, Edwards, Murray, Eric Wilson, or Winters. I'm not benching Bond. I'm going with Jordan Brooks again. I'm going TJ Edwards again. And then I'm also probably going to go with Eric Wilson. I know that sounds awful, but I mean, when Clashman got hurt, it was not Ivan Pace, it was Eric Wilson. So as much as that pains the IDP show to say, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with the first 4. I know it's contrarian to say Murray, but I know we're not a fan of him and his metrics, but he's out there playing. He's kind of like the Devin White of Dallas.
For sure.
We all want Sanborn to be a thing, but he's not. So
agreed. All right, Jay Kelly here, Bernard or Bolton. Bolton. Always Bolton. I love Nick Bolton. Start him anywhere I can. All right, another Bernard question. Bernard or Jack Campbell this week and rest of season, 2 points solo. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go with Jack Campbell this week. Bernard isn't a nice little matchup this week. I think that maybe Jeff is going to go Bernard here, but I do kind of like Jack Campbell. It's just a nice solid floor.
I'm also going to go Campbell.
Okay.
I've been kind of out on Bernard, so.
Yeah. So we had a defensive line and DB question earlier. So DL start for TJ, Josh Hines Allen, Granderson, Montez Sweat, Hassan Reddick, or Isaiah McGuire. Jeff, I'll let you jump in on this one. This is not too difficult.
Well, the first 2 are pretty much layups, and then we're going to pick 2 of the last one.
Yeah.
McGuire's probably out just because of snaps. I'm probably going to go Granderson and Reddick.
Okay, I'm going to probably go Granderson and Sweat. I do think Sweat is going to have the opportunity to get to Jared Goff potentially this week. The Lions look weird with no Ben Johnson, so we'll see what that looks like. Jay Kelly missed last week, but glad to be back. Yeah, Jeff's glad to be back. I had Jakey last week, and I'm thankful to have Jeff this week. So, CHB, which DL should I start? Marshawn Nealon? Go for it.
This one. This was the follow-up.
Oh, okay. We already did this one. Let's roll on. David Tan, fanning over Kelsey at tight end. Sure, why not? Let's do it.
I'm going to go Kelsey just because I think with Worthy being out, Kelsey gets back into the fold a little bit more this weekend. Like Fannin might be a fool's gold. We might see more in Njoku this week.
We got to make him a thing. We got to make him a thing. Okay. All right, Petrie or Metellus this week?
I'm Metellus with linebacker Cashman being down. I think he gets a little more involved. A few more linebacker opportunities there for Metellus, who's basically a linebacker in Minnesota anyway.
I do like the setup this week for Petre. I think that the Buccaneers are going to throw the ball quite a bit, and that's going to be a pretty good game on Monday night. But I agree with you. With the weirdness at LB2, Metellus is a rinse and repeat. Have we already answered this one? We have not. DB, start 4, Travis Hunter, Brandon Jones, Tyke Smith, Watts, Hawkins, Malachi Starks. That is an embarrassment of riches right there. I am going to always start Travis Hunter. I expect him to have a little bit of a bounce back, I guess, this week. What do you think there for the next 3? I'm going to say Jeff is definitely going to put Hunter in there. Who are your next 3, Jeff?
It's going to be the first 4 guys listed. I'm not going to start Hawkins just because I don't think he can repeat last week's stats.
Sure.
Starks, we already said, plays too far away from the line to be a consistent scorer.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with, you got a nice high floor with Hunter, Jones, and Smith there. I'm going to roll the dice with Watson, his big play there.
Perfect. I think that's great advice. Jay Kelly again, Bernard, Bolton, or Servassier. Pick one. I'm going Bolton. Yep.
Bolton.
The usage is not quite yet there with Servassier, and Bernard has got to deal with Milano a little bit. I didn't think Milano was going to be this healthy this early on. Lake or Curl rest of season. Wow. I know you probably want my answer, but Jeff, I'm going to throw it to you.
Most recently, it's probably going to be Curl. The usage that we saw last week, I know it's only 1 week, but if we can hold off until week 3 or 4 when we have a little more data to go from. But right now, it's looking like Curl. Yeah,
much as I hate to say it, I'm going Curl as well. All right, Cooper DeJean or Cole Bishop at defensive back week 2. Wow.
I'm going Cooper, especially going against the Chiefs this week. I think it's going to be a kind of an offensive explosion. A lot of opportunities.
Man, I want to say Cooper too, but I do like Bishop. I'm going to go Cooper as well. It's hard to go away from right now. David Tan, 2 defensive backs out of Brisker, Woodson from New England, and Chin. I think it's in that order. I think you got to go Brisker. He looks back and he looks healthy. Let's stay away from the concussions. And Woodson, that usage in week 1 is really nice. Presumably, you probably got this guy off of waivers. I'm not benching Woodson for Chin, even though I do like Chin rest of season.
Same.
All right. Fresh Prince, we've got Alex Highsmith, DeForest Buckner, Leonard Williams, Aiden Hutchinson. Pick 2. Jeff, aside from Aiden Hutchinson, who else are you picking?
Yeah. I'm going to go with the bookends here on this one. I'm going to go Highsmith and Hutchinson.
Yep.
Play the guys on your defensive end over defensive tackles for me. But
yep, I agree 100%. CHB meant to add earlier to the defensive line question, should I start Rousseau, Daniil Hunter, or one of the Miami edge rushers in Jalen or Chop Robinson? The answer is no. You roll out Rousseau, you roll out Daniil Hunter, and expect a little bit of a bounce back in week 2 from those guys.
There's just too much volatility right now in Miami. Not playing consistent. There's just a heavy rotation. Not good for anybody.
Perfect. I think you nailed it. There's going to be some weirdness with the defensive line there in Miami. So David Tan, again, trust Servassier Dennis with the recent negative comments by the team. It just depends. The negative comments are one thing, but the usage is another. So until we start seeing 80, 90, 100% Servassier, he's kind of hard, aside from like super deep leagues, to really trust week in and week out. You agree, Jeff?
I've learned not to trust coach speak at all.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous game listening to the comments all the time. So
for sure. All right, Frosty here. Trusting TJ Edwards this week? ?
Yes, he's practiced fully back-to-back last 2 days.
Yep.
The Bears defense needs him.
Agreed. All right, Ben.
I need him.
Hey, we all need him. TJ Edwards, play well for us this week. All right, Ben. Yo, new here. What's up, Ben? Can you pick 3 for week 2? Nico, Neighbors, Ladd, T, Etienne, Ken Walker. Thanks. No to me on Ken Walker. I'm going to go again with Nico Collins. I think they're going to throw the ball quite a bit this week in a pretty good matchup. I'm going to go with Neighbors again. You're not going to bench those guys because you're going to be pretty bummed if they put up a 30 bird on your bench. And then
this one
I'll let you break it for me.
Yeah. It kind of comes down to me if I need a home run. If I need a home run, I'm going to put T. Higgins in because he's capable of putting up a huge week. I think the Bengals offense is definitely going to bounce back. We saw nothing out of Higgins and Chase last week, so this week is the week. But if you need a just high, safe floor guy, I'm going to go Ladd. He was super consistent. He's still involved in that offense, and if the Chargers are throwing the ball like they did last week, there's a lot of opportunity, even with competition with Keenan Allen, and now all of a sudden the guy who can catch Quentin Johnson.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. Let's go even quicker because we are piling up some questions here. So, Brandon, week 2, rest of the season at LB, Trenton Simpson, Omar Spates, Cameron McGrone.
Waiver wire. I'm going to go Spates of those 3.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Tim, Marcus Sigel or Jalen Petre. I'm going Sigel week 2.
Really?
Yep. I am. I'm going to believe week 1. Let's believe. Okay. Bez, I don't know how to say your last name. Pick one to bench. Spillane, Barton, Schlesinger, Aziz. Pick one to bench. I'm going to put
Spillane
on the bench. Ooh, Spillane. Okay, I don't hate it. All right, Fresh Prince again. Terrell Bernard, Schlesinger, D. Winters, Logan Wilson, Aziz Al-Shair. Pick 2. Logan Wilson for me 1.
Yep. Wilson and Shahir.
Yep, I agree. I think that's great. All right, PPR, Prescott, Penix, Lawrence, or Stafford. I'm going Stafford to have a great week in week 2. Ingram, Pitts, or Fannin, Waddle, Walker, or Butte. So I'm going to go Stafford. I'm going to go Ingram, and then I'm going to go Walker.
And I'm going to go Prescott, Ingram, Waddle.
Okay. I don't hate it. Bryson, rolling with Warner and Henley. Picked up Servassier, Dennis. Devin White is available. Who's the better hold on paper?
Dennis.
Woo. Yep, agree with you. Spot on, Jeff. Fresh Prince again. Chin, Hufunga, Morig, Cam Curl, Malachi, or Tyke Smith. Pick 2. Cam Curl and Tyke Smith. Agreed. Look at me. Me and Jeff just in step this morning. Sergio, Murray or Fields? Gross, neither. Let's go.
Murray.
I'm going Fields. All right, Wallbangs, start 2 between Newbin, Metellus, Tyke Smith. We're going Tyke Smith, and we're going Metellus.
Yep.
Good matchup for week 2. Cohen, start 1. Foye, Dayon, DeMario. Foye, for sure.
Foye, yep.
Yeah, man.
LB1 again this season.
Welcome back. Will Anderson or Josh Hines Allen in week 2 from Fantasy Sports. Will Anderson. Trust it. Believe in it, even though we do like Josh Hines Allen for week 2. Landman or Al-Shair for an IDP flex spot. I'm going Landman. Ooh,
really?
Okay. A little shakeup. I don't know. It's gross, but I like it with Landman. That punching the ball out was pivotal for the Rams. Under the radar DB waiver ad to make before the game start? ? You have anybody? Maybe even this next one could kind of help you. We've had a lot of questions here for Woodson. Woodson and Jalen Hawkins, maybe one of those guys is available there for a DB waiver ad for this week.
Watt's been a hot name this week too, as an ad too. I think they're all kind of a wash. I'm going to hold Newbin just because over the course of the season, I think he's going to kind of balance out.
Yeah, I think that's great. Josh, hey guys, thanks for the help. Last week ended up winning. Let's go. 32-man league. That's crazy. Alontae Taylor, Blue Kelly, Afedi Melifonwu, Kair Elam. Start 2. I'm definitely going with Alontae Taylor. And then probably
I'm going to go Blue Kelly. Just the other guys aren't playing 100% of snaps yet. So, or Melifonwu is not playing.
Yeah, I think that's perfect, Jeff. Mike here goes Verse, Burns, Grenard. My other is Garrett. Oh, wow. What an embarrassment of Richards.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, pick any of them. Now, that's all top-tier stuff right there. I would probably go –
I'm going to go Verse for you.
Yeah, I'm going to go Verse. Going to have a good week.
You have to say the Rams every time.
You knew it. You knew it. Brad Gilbert, 2 of Diaby, Latu, Osai, Phillips, Robinson, Nolan Smith, Tooley, Sam Williams. I'm going to go – man, that's really tough. I'm going to go probably Nolan Smith and Tooley because the usage is going to be good, and I'm just going to expect some upside with those guys.
Yeah, I could see Nolan Smith for 100%, and I'm going to roll the dice on Diaby this week.
Also, Fields or Hurts this week for quarterback. Definitely go Jalen Hurts. Don't go Justin Fields.
For sure.
Should I drop Rashid Shaheed or stash Najee? Definitely go Shaheed. Najee, clock is ticking there for him with Omarion. Awuzie or Tarheeb Still? I'm going to go Still. I think Still had really good usage in week 1.
He did.
Concerned with Aiden Hutchinson with him ramping up, returning from injury. I feel like it may take a few weeks. Don't be concerned at all with Aiden Hutchinson. It might take a few weeks. That's right, but you don't want to bench a guy like that.
Yeah, and they put a rule in camp that when Aiden Hutchinson made a sack during training camp, they just let the play continue.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the offense would never get any work. So it was just 1 week off.
Expect a good week for Aiden. My first IDP start sit show of the year. Have a great one, fellas. Hey, welcome in. We're glad to have you. Ben here. Choose two. Spillane, Eric Wilson, Devin Bush, Tyrese Knight, D. Winters, Pete Werner, Byron Young. What do you think there, Jeff? I've got one clear answer.
I'm going to go Pete Werner just with the volume of snaps from last week.
Okay.
And then I really, really want to make Tyrese Knight a thing, but he was limited on snaps last week too. So who you got?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Spillane and Werner, even though I do like Eric Wilson, and Tyrese Knight is a really, really good player. So that will change probably in a couple weeks based off of usage. But for week 2, Werner and Spillane for me. Also, bonus question here, defensive back Brandon Jones versus Indy or Del Pitt. I'm going to go Del Pitt.
I agree. I think that just the volume that Baltimore is going to run, they're going to run a ton of offensive plays, a lot of opportunity. We're over 350 people right now, Bobby.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Get in here and get your questions in. We have got another about 20 minutes. We got a hard stop at 9:30, so we are going to continue rifling on through. Byron Smith. And also, should I play Travis Hunter or Pearsall? Leaning Pearsall for volume and Kelsey or Strange playing Kelsey for volume. Woo-wee. That's a tough one because Pearsall, man, there's going to be some weirdness there. I'm going Travis Hunter because at least we know who his quarterback is going to be.
Yep, for sure.
All right.
And I agree with the volume with
Kelsey
too.
Yeah, you said that earlier on in the show, I believe. Malik, shout out Wright from the Bears. Won me last week with the pick 6. Let's go. This week, Lake or Chin? I'm going Chin. I think you're probably in agreement with me, Jeff.
Yep, 100%.
All right. Let's see. Matthew here. Diaby, Hendrickson, or Hunter? What do you think, Jeff?
It's hard. I'm going to go Hendrickson.
I'm going to go inverse. I'm going to go – it's interesting there who you're saying. I'm going to assume you're going Daniil Hunter. I'm going to go Daniil. I'm going to go Hendrickson. Then I'm going to go Diaby. I'm going to go the inverse of what you put on the screen there. So Petre or one of the rookies, Sigel or Woodson. I'm going to go Woodson and then Sigel and then Petre.
Yes, I agree. I'm going to go with Woodson first. I just think he has the best chance to repeat. There's such volatility playing that slot corner spot that Petrie plays in.
Yep. DL here, Byron Young or Zach Allen. Man, I really like Byron Young. That's a fun little setup for that boy. Zach Allen is probably the right answer. So don't listen to the Rams fan. Listen to Jeff. You need one here, Grenard, Yaya Diaby, or Zach Allen.
Grenard.
Yep. All right. We got Francis saying not Petre. Again, comment here for Woodson. All right, what should we expect from Werner moving forward production-wise? I think the same thing. I don't think much is going to change.
No, that offense is horrible. They're going to be on the field a lot. Running out the opposing teams are going to be running out the clock late in games. He's going to soak up a lot of tackles late, garbage time.
I love that. Corey here, already joined the Substack. Let's go, theidpshow.com. I'll check out the start sit. It's awesome. The ranks are awesome. The articles are awesome. Welcome into the IDP show. You are now in the wormhole. All right, EH has Zaire or Foye.
Foye, 100%. Yeah. Zaire's not back from his ankle yet.
Alex Highsmith or Daniil Hunter. I'm going to go for a little bounce back this week with Daniil Hunter.
Same.
All right, JP. Hey, guys, what are your thoughts on Kinchins and Dynasty? I really like Kinchins. I think he's a nice little hold. Also, what the heck happened with EJ Speed? Why trade for a guy and not play him? They have a lot of people down there, JP. I know you had a couple questions with EJ Speed last week, but there was some weirdness there with that crew. Also, taking into consideration, there is still Christian Harris, who didn't see a lot of snaps in week 1. So expect some weirdness with the Houston linebackers for a couple weeks. Byron Smith, sorry, just seeing this isn't IDP questions. Hey, we don't care. You ask whatever you want. Even trade questions are more than welcome here. Andrea here, one spot, Spillane, Landman, Devin White, or Demario Davis. I'm going to go Demario Davis.
Same.
Wow.
Let's go. High floor.
Me and Jeff holding hands this week. Frosty C, good luck this week. Good luck to you. Vic Z, Knight, sink or Sandman at the linebacker position? What you think, Jeff?
Is that Knight in Cincinnati or Sanborn at
Yes,
linebacker?
100%.
I'm going to go Knight just because he's going to have more opportunity, I think, than Sanborn.
Rest of the season, it could be Sanborn, but that's a little wishful thinking in week 2. IDP flex, Landman, or Roseboom? Landman.
I'm going Roseboom just
Jeff,
outside of that one play. I know.
You're
outside of the
so
one
wrong,
punch out,
Jeff.
though, what did Landman do?
Don't you
That
dare
saved his
ask
day.
that
That
on
saved
this.
his fantasy.
Don't
That
you
saved his
dare
fantasy
ask
day.
that on this show again.
I know.
We will boot you out of
right.
here. All right, Ken. Adebo versus the Cowboys or Nashawn Wright versus the Lions? Adebo.
Yep, 100%.
Don't
Not going to
bank
get a
on-
pick six every week.
Yeah, don't bank on that every single week. All right, so Brad here, Buckner or Cam Hayward. I'm going Buckner again to have a good week.
Same.
All right, Dominic, help. I have Rashawn Reddick at my linebacker position in my league. Who should I drop, Reddick or Schlesinger? Ooh. Probably Reddick, because Schlesinger is going to have a really, really good rest of the season, in my opinion.
Yep. Mike Woolert would roll over right now if you saw that.
Yeah, he's probably watching out there. Look at us, cresting 380 this week, Jeff. Congratulations, buddy.
Woo.
All right,
Let's get to four. Let's get to four.
Two
Tell your
spot,
friends.
Derwin James, Shamari Connor, Brandon Jones, Nick Cross, or Minka Fitzpatrick. I think the first two are the ones that I'm going to trust in week 2. Derwin James, Shamari Connor had really good usage in week 1. You're probably
James and Connor
disagreeing
for
with me.
No, James and Connor for me, but if
Okay.
I wouldn't fault you for putting in Brandon Jones
Or
over Connor.
Cross, really. Just not Minka, in my opinion. All right. TJ Edwards or Levante David in week 2. Interesting question.
I'm banking on Edwards having a great game against Detroit. Detroit
Yeah.
gave up 24 tackles to linebackers last week.
Agreed. I love that, Jeff. All right. GM Gents, start 2, defensive back, Derwin James, Branch, or Kyle Hamilton. I'm going to go with Derwin James and Branch. Those are 2 guys that I don't want to put on the bench because Kyle Hamilton was a little bit banged up, and Malachi Starks, I'm telling you, is going to be a thing. He's gonna take some IDP usage away from K-Ham.
I'm going to go also with James and Branch just because
Okay.
I think this game gets away from Cleveland quick and they're not going to play a lot.
Deep IDP league, start Winters or Diablo. I'm going to go with Diablo in week 2.
Yep.
Yep.
We love the deep leagues. That's not deep enough. Keep going.
Nah, keep getting deeper. Logan Wilson, Landman, Sherwood, Roseboom, or Hines Allen need 2. Just depends. If you're shooting for the stars, I'm going to go with Josh Hines Allen and probably Sherwood. If you want the guaranteed production, I'm going to go with Sherwood and Logan Wilson.
100%, just what you just said.
Mayfield or Prescott? Let's go Prescott. That's tricky. That's
Yeah.
tricky.
I'm going Mayfield. I think they just got to throw the ball.
Look at you, shying away from Dak already. PPR, James Conner or Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, for sure. Great usage in week 1.
Give me those guaranteed touches from the running back.
Ernest Jones question here from Steven. Start 3, Ernest Jones, Logan Wilson, Carson Schlesinger, and Jack Campbell. Let's have fun. Jones, Wilson, Schlesinger.
Yep. We've already kind of set our no love for Campbell.
All right, Andrea again. Need 2. Nick Bolton, Caden Ellis, Aziz Al-Shair. I'm going Bolton and Shair.
Agree.
Man, Landman or Ivan Pace at LB? I would love for it to be Ivan Pace, but the answer is Nate Landman.
Yep. I will agree with you on this one. It's got to be Landman.
Me and Jeff are spot on there. Moose Jaw, morning fellas. Dodson or Okereke, tackle heavy scoring. I know my answer, Jeff. Tell the man. Or woman.
Okereke
We don't know here.
I'm
Yeah,
going
it's-
Okereke heavy, especially without running mate Masao is going to be his linebacker 2 this week. He's going to get heavy volume.
For sure. We don't know. Okereke, man, the PPR, or not PPR, but the PFF numbers could be gross for Okereke to finish the season. So enjoy Bobby O while he's still a thing. Demario Davis, Caden Ellis, and Eric Wilson, pick 2.
I'm going to
First
go
2.
with Demario Davis and Ellis.
Yeah, I like Eric Wilson. It's a great snag, but don't trust it quite yet. Andrea, 2 spot, Hufunga, Tyke Smith, Alante Taylor. It's definitely Tyke. What about Hufunga or Alante?
I'm going to go Taylor.
Okay, I don't hate that in week 2.
Hufunga just plays a lot of deep safety for me.
Pick 4 for Chad, Newbin, Watts, Petre, Battle, Brisker. I'm going Battle. I'm going Brisker. I'm going Newbin. Watts or Petrie? I know that's where you're going, Jeff.
I'm going Petrie. I'm going to sit Watts.
I think that's a smart call. It's going to be a good passing game there for Petrie potentially as well. Ruggiero, morning, fellas. Welcome back, Ruggiero. I remember you hearing last week. Bo Nix or Caleb Williams in week 2. Caleb Williams has a sneaky little rushing floor. I'm going Caleb Williams.
I am also going to go Caleb Williams. They got to win, and it's going down 0-2 in that division.
Yeah.
Got to win.
Jack Campbell, K. Nellis, Servassier Dennis, D. Winters, Knight, Pace, Spillane, Landman is what I'm assuming you're putting there. Big Diaz. Need 3. So we're not going to go away from Landman because he has the usage. I'm also going to go with Spillane as well.
I'm going Caden Ellis then.
Yep, I think that's the right call, Jeff. Ruggiero, what role does Christian Ellis have now?
Well, like we said earlier, he's kind of like this defensive lineman eligible player playing linebacker. He played 85% of snaps last week. I think he's in a great spot. Don't look at his PFF scores because they're going to be gross, but
stinky but startable.
Yep.
I
Keep
agree.
rolling them as long as you can.
Yep. Enjoy it while it lasts. Do you like Shamari Connor to get 6 tackles and assists? Also, shout out IDP Bets, a show that we also have on Friday nights here with the IDP show. I don't know that they talked about Shamari Connor to get 6 tackles and assists. They did. Jeff is plugged in.
Yep.
All right. What do you think?
Patrick Tackle Box Props loves him this week.
All right. Yeah. Let's double down. Let's get some Shamari Connor bets going. Chad here, pick 4, Aziz. I'm assuming that is Devin White, Knight, Diablo, Henley, and Winters. We're definitely going Aziz. We're definitely going Henley. We're definitely going White and Diablo. I'm going to sit D. Winters. I'm going to sit Knight just because of the PT.
Same. Yep. Exactly. That's where I was going with
Look at us 5 away from 400, Jeff. Can we get there? We've got about another 10 minutes to answer, so we're going to get as many of these in as we can. Adebo or Joseph in week 2. I'm going to go Kirby Joseph. You're probably going Paulson.
I'm going to go Adebo. I'm going to Adebo. Yep.
Ruggiero, drop Dallas Turner. Do not drop Dallas Turner.
No.
I saw where it looks like Van Ginkel is probably not going to play in week 2. He is out. So this would be the worst time to drop Dallas Turner. Kobe Bryant, Alante Taylor, or Cooper DeJean in week 2.
I'm going to go Kobe Bryant just with Nick Emanwari being dinged up. He's going to get all the safety spots there in Seattle.
Okay. CHB here, I think, is just doubling down on this question, and we have already answered that one. So Evan Smith, hey, guys, start 1 DL, Abdul Carter, Grenard, or Byron Young. I'm probably going to go Grenard, Abdul Carter, and then Byron Young.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. But awesome week 1 there for Byron Young. Nate Landman or Sherwood at linebacker this week. Thanks, fellas.
I'm going Sherwood. Are you going Landman over? Okay.
Sherwood's probably the answer there. All right. Let's see.
400, Bobby.
Look at us cresting it. Big Diaz has a question here. Second question. Campbell, Caden Ellis, Dennis, Winters, Sewell, Bush, need 3, have a type. That is pretty funny. All right, what do you think there?
It's almost like the rinse and repeat question. I mean, like we're getting the same names a lot this week. I mean,
for sure.
Great linebacker rooms. I'm probably going to go Caden Ellis for sure there. I'm probably going to not play Bush, Sewell, or Winter just based on snaps because TJ Edwards is back. Yeah. So it's probably going to be Campbell, Ellis, and Dennis for me.
Yep. All right, we have another special question here. Yaya Diaby or Montez Sweat this week? What do you think, Jeff?
Safe money's on Sweat.
Yeah. I think that is spot on. Let me see where we were. All right. Dallas Turner or Sam Williams at defensive end? Dallas Turner.
Yeah, I think so too. This is the week with AVG out. Yeah. Wheels up for Dallas Turner this week.
Absolutely. All right, Josh, outlook on Daquan Jones with Ed Oliver out. Like him better than Roy Robertson Harris? Man, it's hard to say right now. After week 2, we're going to know a little bit more. I don't think I'm probably trusting either of those this week until we kind of see what that rotation looks like with Ed Oliver out. But Jones is probably the one that I'm paying attention to because we've seen it for several years with Roy Robertson Harris. It's just never great. He'll pop off, but he's hard to trust.
Yep, and then I like that playing against the Jets too. He's going to get a lot of opportunity there. So let's go Jones.
Absolutely. Should we worry about Bo Nix rest of season? Nah, not at all. Week 1, don't get too panicky. For offense or defense, don't get too worried. Fannin or Juwan Johnson? Jeff is going to say Juwan Johnson, and that's probably the correct answer.
A lot of volume.
The correct answer. All right, Evan Smith. Hey guys, start 1 in DL. Abdul, Grenard, or Byron Young? I think we've already answered this question. I'm going to go Grenard, Abdul, Byron Young. Also start 2 IDP. Shamari, Minka, or Kingleton. Kingleton, Shamari, then Minka.
Shamari. Yep.
Me and Jeff are hands together here this week.
Here.
All right.
Easy.
Juan here. Who for my wide receiver 1 and 2 and flex spot? Adams, Hollywood, Austin, Quentin Johnson, Butte. All right. And then we have an IDP question. So I'm going Adams to have a good little bounce back in week 2. Hollywood is going to be hard to put on your bench in week 2 as well. What do you think there for that? I guess that's probably it. Wide receiver 1 and 2, Adams and Hollywood for sure for me.
And then you need a flex spot. So if, again, this kind of comes down to my matchup. If I need a home run, I'm going to put in Quentin Johnson. But if I just need safe points, I'm probably going to go Henderson.
Yep. And then Trey Hendrickson, Nick Chubb, or Charbonnet. That makes sense. Okay. Dude, Jeff, that was a great call. A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore, pick 2. I don't know if DJ Moore is banged up. He got wrecked at the end of last week. So I don't know exactly what he's going to look like. But I would say probably in that order. A.J. Brown, then trust Garrett Wilson, and then maybe expect a little different setup there with Marvin Harrison.
I'm going to go Marvin Harrison and A.J. Brown. I think Squeaky Wheel gets fed this week with no Dallas Goedert for Philly. I think they're going to rely heavily on that. So.
How are we feeling about starting Troy Dyes and LB4? That's a pretty gross question in week 2, but it is going to be probably a usable option here.
Yeah, no Perryman, so Dye is going to probably get 70, close to 80% of snaps, and as an LB4, that's pretty solid.
Really banged up there with the Chargers. Nate Landman or Devin Bush? Nate Landman.
Landman. Yep.
IDP Doctor. Morning, fellas. Looks like Witherspoon is out. Need a cornerback / safety. I have several options, but looking at Pinnock, Sigel. I'm going to go Sigel and just keep an eye on Pinnock.
Yep.
JP Rager. Thanks, fellas. Definitely holding Kinchins and waiting to see if speed shows up before starting him. That's the way to play IDP. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. These guys are awesome, and get to everyone's questions. We are rifling through this morning. We've got another 3 minutes or so we're going to try to get to as many as we can. IDP Doctor, why is no one talking about Dallas Turner possibly having an increased role on Monday night? With AVG yet, he played 43% of snaps and had a 12.5% pressure rate according to PFF. IDP Doctor, continue it on. Love to hear that. That's a spot-on analysis of why we're hyped for Dallas Turner going into week 2. Woodson in New England or Adebo with New York for a DB3 spot? I'm going to go with Woodson.
I'm going to go Adebo for upside. I think he's going to have smash spot with opportunity against CeeDee Lamb this week.
I love that. Tackle heavy scoring start 1 at defensive back, Antoine Winfield or Brisker. Wow.
I'm going to go Brisker just because of the opportunity against Detroit this week.
You're probably right. I'm going to go with Winfield. I'm going to think Winfield has a good little week against the Houston Texans, and at least you get to watch him live, presumably on Monday night. Pick 2, Tyke, Hufunga, Brandon Jones. Probably Tyke and Brandon Jones for me.
Same. Hufunga plays too deep.
All right, Travis has start Dennis or Bernard. We're going Bernard because he's getting the PT.
Yep. 100%.
All right, Wallbang, pick 2, Dennis, Landman, Bernard, Peyton Wilson. Woo! Landman, Bernard.
I am Landman Bernard.
Okay. All right, Gilman or Newbin.
Gilman plays really deep. So does Newbin. I think Newbin has a bounce back week this week.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Morning, fellas. Juice Man. Good morning. Should I start Brisker or drop for Craig Woodson? Tyke is my other DB.
I like the combo of Smith and Brisker. You have high floor, high ceiling. I just think there's going to be a lot of up and down weeks for Patriot defensive backs.
Great call. We got another 45 seconds or so all day here deep. IDP, LB, pick 1, Roseboom, Demetrius Knight, D. Winters.
Roseboom.
Yep, great call. IDP Doctor have to play against Yaya in one of the leagues. Okay. Phil Anderson here, Blankenship, Chin, Kalen Bullock, Alante Taylor. Good call. Francis, Need 4, Hutch, Mad Max, Abdul, Verse. Yep, Verse 4, Bench Reddick.
Sick Carter.
Oh, okay. Thule, Dallas Turner, big play scoring. Dallas Turner.
Big week this week.
All right, we're going to finish up with this one. 32 teams, start 2 DB, tackle heavy league. Melifonwu is on waiver wire, and I'm holding Jaden Hicks. Would you make the move?
I think it's a 50 cents one way, half a dollar the other. They're about the same player. I'm going to maybe take my chance with Melifonwu.
I love it. Jeff, we have wrapped up, and we have crested 425 people in the stream this morning. You did an awesome job. Thank you for joining us here today, theidpshow.com. If we didn't answer your question, go to the Start Sit tool, get into the Dynasty ranks. We have lots of articles and lots of really helpful podcasts to help you with your decisions this week. Jeff, best of luck to you in week 2. Unless we're playing, then I hope the worst of luck to you, and we will talk to you all soon.
It's the IDP show, now you know.
Boom.